In John chapter 5, we find a story that absolutely blows my mind. At the start of chapter 5, Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem, and when you get to Jerusalem, there was this pool where a lot of people that had physical disabilities or issues would lay, and then they would get into this pool that would heal them when the water stirred from the wind. And Jesus finds this guy that's been trying to get in the pool, but it's not working out for him. And it says this, here in verse 3, "Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, 'Do you want to get well?' 'Sir,' the invalid replied, 'I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me.' Then Jesus said to him, 'Get up, pick up your mat, and walk.' At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and he walked." Now, because it's Jesus, sometimes we just read past that and we're like, oh, that's crazy, but pretty amazing. But hold on for a second. 38 years. Do we have any idea how long that is? 38 years, that is such a long time. And for me, when I read that passage, I automatically go to a place in my mind where I go, I bet that guy probably had completely given up hope. I bet the first bit of time he spent praying a lot and asking God to heal him and asking God to change things. But I'm guessing after a handful of time, he probably kind of just said, you know what, that one's just not going to happen. Or God's just not going to act on that one. I feel like for you and I, if we get out to like 6 months, we're pretty convinced that God's just not going to do it or it's not going to happen. But this is such an amazing reminder to me. 38 years later, God decides to change the course of that guy's life. God decides to give him something totally new. And for us, when you look at it and go, what does it mean? I don't know. Does it mean God's going to change everything? Probably not, but I don't know. But what it tells me is this. No matter how long you've been struggling with something, no matter how long you've been praying for something, no matter how long you've been fighting with something, God's never done. Is he always going to answer? Probably not. But does it mean we should quit? No. Does it mean God's done? I don't think so. 38 years later, God changes everything for this guy. And for some of you, maybe that's what you need to hear. Maybe your hope has decreased because it just seems like it's been too long. But God's not done.